What's this program all about, Stephen?
Food for Life, it's a program that Indian Healthcare applied for through a grant, 3 grants actually. It's called Food for Life. We're using USDA money, CDC money, and tobacco settlement money combined together for a 3-year program, which we're ending food deserts in many neighborhoods and also providing food security for many individuals.
Tell me what a food desert is.
Food desert is a neighborhood where there's literally no place to find real food or whole food, that there are only convenience stores and fast food chains, that there is no place to buy a loaf of bread, milk, cheese, meats, dairy, and fresh vegetables. They literally don't exist. In Tulsa, many neighborhoods drive 10 miles for a loaf of bread. And this program, where we will, through many different phases, one of which is legislation, bring back corner grocery stores, what we're called healthy corner stores, in which we will go into neighborhoods and not put in a superstore that actually adds very little to the character of the neighborhood and very little to the health of the neighborhood, but actually corner stores that are owned by neighbors, that are run by neighbors, and provide a small store, numerous small stores in every neighborhood, rather than one major store where they have to drive to like we are now.
So it sounds like you're trying to get locally grown food into local hands.
Part of our program is, through these corner stores, is having a local co-op. And this co-op can buy from local farmers. Oklahoma is obviously an agriculture buckle of the farm belt. And we need to be using our local produce, especially grown right here in Tulsa and northeast Oklahoma, and delivering that to our local stores. And only through a co-op, which has to be invented, and that's what we're working on through this program, and many other people in Tulsa, what we call foodies. We're all working on getting a co-op along with these corner stores. They have to go hand in hand. You have to buy $20,000 a week from a typical food broker, and a small store simply can't do that. So a co-op is the only way to go.
Okay, so we've said that we're trying to solve the food desert. We're trying to solve it with some local food co-ops. What's the next step?
The next step are what's behind me right now, the community gardens. And this is West Side School in Tulsa, Jane Addams Elementary, in which behind me are raised vegetable beds created by families, and their children go here at Jane Addams. So we're doing this all over Tulsa area. It's behind schools, it's behind churches, it's in communities, neighborhoods, and we're growing these more and more. This grant will allow us to put gardens virtually behind every school and virtually in every community.
Wind noise.
Do I need to do something different with my phone?
Just had wind blowing straight in.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have you backtrack a little
Right.
bit. And these gardens are...
Okay. These are community gardens behind me. And community gardens are being set up all over Oklahoma, all over Tulsa. And we're actually able to fund even more of those, whether they be behind schools or behind a church or place of worship or in town square. We're working on one in Claremore right now. And we can not only help engineer these, but partially fund these too. We're also doing these gardens for school kids. They hopefully will be behind every single elementary school in Oklahoma. And right now we're working on Tulsa area. And these are not just a garden for kids to play in. This is actual education. This behind me meets 4x4, no child left behind. This is curriculum. This is not playtime. So when that child's working in the garden, we're bringing science from the classroom to the garden to the science classroom. It's a direct match, and that child counts as taking one of the 4x4 curriculums. So this, when we're talking about money from the government to each kid attending a class that's 4x4, no child left behind curriculum, this meets that. So the schools are just enamored with these garden programs. They have funding available through many different grant cycles, including ours, and they realize it's education, and the kids have a wonderful time doing it. Plus, for the at-risk kid, the kid that is living in apartment after apartment all their life and transferred from one Section 8 apartment to another, this is home. This is their yard. This is their garden. When they put that pepper plant in the ground and they see that seed germinate and become a pepper, and then in May they harvest that, they're forever tied to that land, to that idea of, I can grow this, this is mine, I own this, this is something special that I did. And a lot of kids living in poverty can't say that about anything. These gardens, they can.
Why is this important to the state?
Oklahoma has one of the highest obesity rates. We have one of the highest tobacco rates. We have the highest rate of heart disease. We're killing ourselves in Oklahoma on the dollar menu. That's where we're eating, rich or poor, food stamps or not. We're eating processed food only, and it's killing us. We see children with type 2 diabetes that shouldn't have it at all, but they're obese. They're eating nothing but processed food full of sugars and salts, and that's the dilemma. So this program is fighting that. What we're showing them is here are healthy foods. We're having, part of this program is also Cooking 101, where we're showing third food stamp moms, third generation food stamp moms, how to cook again, because that's been lost. Traditional ties have been lost too. A child doesn't know what his grandmother used to fix for his mother for breakfast or dinner. They don't know the china that they ate on. If you ask a child today, what do you eat on? Paper or plastic is all they would know. So that's very strong traditional ties. When you and I, we grew up with a place setting and a silverware, could have been out of a box of soap that your mother collected over the years, but it was what we ate on. That's all been lost. Traditional foods, that's been lost. We're bringing all that back, one mom at a time. There are programs similar to this that are already being done. We're just adding to that mix. And we're not inventing the wheel. We're just throwing a lot of money and a lot of expertise at a huge problem. So as we train these moms with their kids present and teach them how to cook, that will gain 2 generations. But we're looking at something that took 30 years to create, so it's going to take a long time to correct.
Do a great job. Let's get I mean, is there something else, anything that I missed of all the major points?
That was all 3 tracks.
Yeah.
Cooking, garden,
Yeah.
lobby.
Lobby. And,
Yeah.
and
And we'll touch back on the legislation portion, the literal bill that's
okay.
out.
And tell that to me, but know that I may want you to come into studio, and I may try to do a roundtable about some of this. But go ahead. Tell me about the legislation.
In order to eliminate these food deserts, we're bringing in healthy corner stores. Representative Senator Scott and Representative Jabbar Shoemake are both authoring a bill coming this session, this January 2010, at the Oklahoma Capitol. And this bill will bring about the ability to have corner stores financed and a business plan for each of these stores. Because we're talking about people in a neighborhood that are young businessmen or had an idea, but don't know how to go about financing and really don't have a secure business plan to go about starting this corner store, but they have a devotion and a mission to do it. We're finding those people and giving them that assistance in funding and that assistance in a business plan. And that will all be in this legislation. We're modeling it after Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania just passed legislation, and they are the model of the country for bringing in healthy corner stores. And Pennsylvania is also bringing in major chains, but putting them in at-risk neighborhoods and contracting with them to buy local. So totally different from the national chains that we see coming in that are buying produce from California and Mexico. This contract in Pennsylvania is another agriculture bill, and their contract states that they need to buy local first, out of state second. So we will be modeling their legislation. Illinois just passed, last session, state of Illinois just passed $10 million bill to fund corner grocery stores. So this is a wave going on. This is not a fad. This is not a new idea. This is something old that was solid in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Corner stores were the way everybody shopped. You walked to the store, you drove 2 minutes to the store unless you were doing your monthly or weekly shopping. So this is all coming back. It made sense then, it makes sense now.